All right, next up on the program, JB Straubel is here. He is the founder and CEO of Redwood Materials, but you probably know him as one of the co-founders of a little electric car startup from here in the Silicon Valley called Tesla. And welcome to the program, JB.
Hey, great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so we've known each other forever. I'm 50 feet away from my Tesla Roadster number 16 and my signature Model S 00001. What an amazing journey you had at Tesla. Tell me just if you were to recap the experience from Roadster, Model S to Model 3, and all the near-death experiences for the company. How do you look back on that amazing journey in your life?
Oh man, it's like trying to recap, the Encyclopedia Britannica here. It's such an adventure. I just kind of look back on it all, mild disbelief and some of the brutal, near death, most difficult stuff kind of gets, a little bit tempered even with just a little bit of time. And, I just feel incredibly proud to have been a part of this, crazy revolution and been at the right time in history when all this was possible and we were able to do these things.
And the batteries seem to be the key component here. There was something about that time period when y'all started working on Tesla and making it work where, correct me if I'm wrong, but battery technology from the smartphone revolution and the laptop boom of the late 90s into the 2000s played some sort of role in setting the groundwork for Tesla to be able to do what you did, correct?
Yeah, it was pivotal. And I think that was, if there's a luck to it, that was the lucky timing and some of it was intentional. But lithium ion batteries, were commercialized in about the year 2000 for laptops. Sony did that. It was bleeding edge, then. And, 3 years later, Tesla starts. And, 4 or 5 years later, we're building them into the first Roadster next to you. So, that was, it was that sort of beginning of that decade that, presented that kind of opportunity. And before that, you just couldn't make a modern electric car. They weren't technically feasible. You could only do so much with, nickel metal hydride or lead acid batteries. I remember one stat that, we would constantly kind of talk about or think about, and it's that, the Roadster, when it was fully charged, the whole car, with a person sitting in it, has an energy density higher than a lead acid battery. So, there's no physical way you could take this old technology and make it, perform that way. So that was what made it possible.
And the cost of the original battery pack in that Roadster was somewhere in the $40,000 range, $50,000 range, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it was in that ballpark. It was, close to $1,000 a kilowatt hour.
Wow.
So I think 53 and change kilowatt hours in the first generation Roadster, and probably around $50,000 to $55,000, something in there.
Just for the battery pack.
Just for the battery.
I replaced my Roadster battery pack with the 300 plus mile one, I think, for $25,000. X number of years later, and now I can go 350 miles. Although you probably wouldn't want to drive for 6 hours in a Roadster. I think it might be a better mission for the Y.
Need a chiropractor after that.
You did feel the road in the Roadster, but it was mind blowing. Tell me what it was like to deliver those first 100. If you take yourself back to that time period, and people on the road in LA and in the Bay Area. And those first 100 getting delivered, and I guess Larry, Sergey, and yourself, Bill Lee, David Sachs, myself. There was just like a group of people who put those $160,000 deposits down for those first 100 signatures. What was it like when you delivered those first 100 signatures?
I mean, it was incredibly rewarding and exciting. We were obviously pretty late delivering them in the first place.
Just a year or two.
Just a little bit. And all these early customers just were such a key part of the company and the mission back then. It was kind of, this sense of camaraderie, making this happen. And yeah, we were super proud of it. We'd put our heart and soul into that thing and worked on it for so many years as a pretty small team. And obviously it was very different, profile then, much, much lower profile. But, to see a modern electric car out there and having customers actually enjoying it and experiencing it, doing, multi-100-mile drives, it was pretty amazing. I mean, that was revolutionary. People didn't, most people would still think we were lying actually about the range, in those days, which was amazing.
That is such an accurate description of that time period, is the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that was being directed at you and Tesla was insane. And, we're driving the cars 150, 200 miles and telling people, look, it works. And they're literally saying nobody will ever buy an electric car because of range anxiety. And I'm like, I'm charging the thing once a week in LA. It's my daily driver. I drive, 10 miles back and forth to Santa Monica to the office. And I literally had people jump in the car when I would be at valets and just say, please take me for a ride around the corner. Please, I want to experience the exhilaration, even at that time before ludicrous mode. I don't know what the 0 to 60 was on the Roadster, but it was 4 seconds or 3.7 or something.
Yeah, I think, just under 4 for the sport model, but it was the same experience though. I mean, minus all the creature comforts and the NVH and the handling and a bunch of other things.
Power steering.
A few little things. But that same experience of getting in there, feeling the torque, feeling a 0 to 60 in under 4 seconds. I was driving the Roadster last weekend, and it's amazing how you could just feel the DNA of what electric cars became and are today. Even in that early thing.
If you don't have business insurance, you failed one of the first steps in being a great entrepreneur. Startups should look no further than Embroker, Embroker. Embroker's technology saves you time and money. Prices are up to 20% lower, and you're going to get better coverage than incumbents, and you go from sign up to quote and purchase in just 10 minutes. When you work with Embroker, instead of business insurance incumbents, you're not dealing with these large, slow corporations, and the sign up takes just days, not weeks. The process is completely transparent. There is no opaque pricing. And I'm going to quickly explain 2 crucial types of insurance you need. Cyber insurance. What does it cover? It covers hacks. They happen all the time. And you need to have coverage for that. Plus, D&O insurance. This is for your directors, people on your board, and officers, the top 5 or 6 people of the company. If somebody does something dumb and you get sued, you need to protect the directors and officers because they're responsible. And even if you don't do something dumb and somebody still wants to sue you, because people can sue you for any reason. They could be wrong, you could be right. It doesn't matter. You need to have the insurance online so you can protect yourself. So, to instantly buy custom-built insurance for startups, go to embroker.com/twist. EMBROKER.com/twist. And while you're there, get an extra 10% off by using the offer code TWIST. Okay, let's get back to this amazing program.